For years, the Disney community has been debating a lot of different questions. Many of them have been related to the pricing of tickets and the crowds at the Disney parks. No one can deny that a less crowded Walt Disney World is more magical. It's lower wait times for your favorite rides and a more tranquil experience overall. Whether you can go during the low crowd times of year or not, it is expensive to go to Walt Disney World, no doubt about it. It's so expensive, as a matter of fact, that some families, I can think of one, will actually go to the area and not get tickets to the parks because it is so expensive for that family. We had a magical time on our adventure, we really did, but of course we would have preferred to go into the parks. Next time for sure. Actually, you know what? I could not go into the Magic Kingdom even if I wanted to at this moment because I don't have a ticket to this party. So it's perfect anyway. We're gonna take a few pictures just right out here with these pumpkins. You know, I feel like the magic, feeling those waves of Disney feels good. Now, I already know what you might be thinking when it comes to the crowds and cost discussion. All magic comes at a price there, Michael, and I absolutely agree with you, it really does. But I truly believe that there is a line between costs and crowds that Disney can kind of play on that line. The reason I'm bringing this topic up is because of a decision Disney recently made at the opening of Pixar Pier at Disneyland and California Adventure. As you may know, Pixar Pier opened to the general public on June 23rd, 2018. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to experiencing it on our next trip to Disneyland and California Adventure. But before it was open to the general public on the 23rd, it was open for a special VIP experience on the 22nd, where you had 6 hours to experience the park with an extremely low amount of crowds. The price for this VIP admission, $299. For many of us, this is totally unrealistic. If we have trouble getting the money together for a few days at Walt Disney World, there is no way that we'd be able to go for $300 to preview a land a day before it opens to the general public. Now you might be thinking, Michael, this is just a preview for those who have more income to spend. Absolutely, I agree 100%. We can wait until the official opening day, the very next day. That is totally fine with me. It doesn't take away from the magic, and it gives an opportunity for those who have a little bit more disposable income to experience the park with relatively low crowds. Because of this, there are many rumors that Disney will no longer offer pass holder previews of new areas like they did for Pandora World of Avatar, and instead make a VIP experience for those with a little bit more disposable income to experience the land before the general public. To be honest, I am not the biggest fan of this. I feel like that pass holder preview or a preview for the general public, like a soft opening, is a great way to, you know, incorporate everyone so that everyone can participate in the opening and the pre-opening of a new land, but at the same time it doesn't take away the magic, you know, for all of us, and there's no exclusive area that I cannot see, at least at some point. So even with this, even with the idea that this might happen, I'm okay with this. I can make this work in my schedule. I'll just go the next day with the general public. I'm fine with that. Knowing that Disney is thinking about the future of the pricing of tickets and previews and all of this, what could this mean for the future of the standard tickets to the parks? There has been an idea floating around the internet that I wanted to bring to your attention. The idea is that Disney could change the price of the ticket at any given time. So maybe at one point where they predict the crowd will be very intense, the price will be higher, and they predict the crowd might be lower on another day and the price of the ticket will be lower, and the price could change depending on the day and how the predictions are doing and what they're seeing in the parks. At the time of filming, Disney does charge a different amount for the one-day ticket depending on when you're going. It can be a value, regular, or peak time of year depending on the crowds, but that's only for the one-day ticket. What if that program is expanded to the multi-day tickets? Now don't forget, it's just an idea, but the thought behind it is that Disney could change the price of the ticket depending on the crowd. So let's say you're looking at a day in October, just a random day. Let's say you look at it 6 months in advance, it's $102. You wait a few weeks, you look again, and now it's up to $114. Disney has changed the price of this ticket based on the crowds that they're expecting will be there on that day. The reason why Disney may consider implementing this plan is to help regulate the crowds. Let's say they have a day where they didn't predict it would be very crowded, but a lot of kids, you know, were let out of school early for some reason that year, and they realized that a lot of the resorts are starting to sell out, a lot of tickets are starting to sell, you know, quite a bit, and so they want to increase the price of the ticket to discourage more people from coming and hopefully making the crowds a little bit thinner. I can see this idea working extremely well or extremely poorly, all depending on how Disney implements it. Let's say you and your family want to go on a Disney vacation and timing isn't really an issue. You can get off work anytime and school's really not a question right now because the kids are too young. You can go anytime. This could be a super deal for you because Disney could lower the prices depending on the crowd levels, and then you could slip in just at the last minute and get a really, really good deal for Walt Disney World. That scenario is such a win-win. You get to go to Walt Disney World at a lower price, with lower crowds, have a more magical experience, and Disney gets your business. Everybody wins in this situation. But on the other hand, let's say you have the exact same family for the exact same number of days, but the schedule is not as flexible. Maybe there's school schedule that has to be followed, or work schedule you have to only be off during the holidays or during a 3-day weekend. In that situation, the price could be totally different and it could increase and actually price you out of a Disney vacation. We can see examples of this program in other theme parks, but the best example that I can think of for today is with the airlines. If you book a flight about 6 months in advance, you'll get a pretty reasonable rate. Pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. If you wait to the last minute, you run a risk of having a much higher price. And more often than not, you see that these tickets start to sell out. You'll see a flight with 5 seats left, 3 seats left, and those ticket prices will be extremely high. On the other side of that, if the airline does not sell as many of those seats as they originally thought they would, they might lower the price, and you may end up getting a flight from the Washington, D.C. area to the Orlando International Airport for $48. This happened to me once. Although there is a maximum capacity for every Disney park, Disney is not an airplane with a limited number of seats, so just keep that in mind. It's just a general reference to get an idea of what Disney might be aiming for. So is this the way to solve the crowd problem at Walt Disney World and other Disney parks? Perhaps. It really depends on how they implement it. If they really can make a great deal happen depending on the low crowd levels that they find, I think it would be really, really good. On the other hand, they could just continue to increase the price of the tickets, and that might price a few of us out. So it really depends on how they implement this. Now, we do not know for sure if Disney's going to implement a program like this or anything new at all. Maybe it'll just be the standard increase in the tickets. We don't know at this point. It's just predictions, just thoughts, but it's interesting to think about. No matter what they do, I just hope that Disney keeps those Disney enthusiasts in mind, the fans who are really dedicated to the brand and want to be a part of the magic. Keep us in mind, Disney. So my question to you today is, what does customer satisfaction at Disney mean to you? Given the choice between higher crowds at Walt Disney World and a lower price versus a higher price and lower crowds at the parks, which would you choose? Let me know in the comments below and at the poll right there at the I button. This is truly a tough one. Is Disney giving us a hint with the Pixar Pier VIP tour, or is it something totally separate and even Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will have the standard passholder preview? I don't know, only time will tell. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.